It is Friday night, the 26th of June, 2026, and it is the Propel expansion. And I am here to share a segment that what's interesting, guys, is that I did this on the 24th, and for whatever reason, it did not, I guess, record, I guess, because it was there, but it wasn't there. I can't even explain. So I'm not saying it's a do-over, because every day is a new day, and every perspective is a new perspective, and every reality of what's going on in the world and life is new. So I have my text cap on tonight. And so I'm going to continue, though, essentially with the same point to the point. And it's like I just see this big red check shirt, but I wanted to just share with you tonight. So I didn't go live last night for many reasons, but I thought, you know what, let me just give it a cool off. I don't think it's YouTube, probably me. But that's the point of tonight. Tonight is 2 Kings 2 Kings 4, 1 through 7. And it is the woman of during Elisha's time, and that she was a widow and newly widowed, and widowed from a gentleman that was very involved in the community and church and helping others. But the law of the day was that if there were not any wealth or funds or what have you, that she had 2 sons, and those kids would be taken as indentured servants to pay the debt. So without her sons and without any husband or any way to make a living, she was really in a bad place. And so hello, welcome to the Propel expansion, and I'm Megan DiMartino, and this is Friday Night Live, and it is the 26th of June, 2026, so that's 2626 is a very special day. And so I'm here to share with you about expanding your life to start, scale, and sustain, and never stop. And I'm sharing a story about the woman, and this is in 2 Kings 4, 1 through 7, and she was a widow, and her newly widowed, and her husband had just recently passed, and he had been very involved in the community, helping many people, helping the church, helping people with lesser than. And so he really didn't prepare for passing on. And so it left debt. And in those days, if you could not pay your debts, then they would take your children as indentured servants and to pay, to cover whatever their justification was. And that truly left her in a very, very, very dangerous and compromised place. So as it goes on, she went to the prophet Elisha and shared her plight. And he said, well, what do you have? And she said, well, I don't have anything. He said, well, you have to have something. And she said, and maybe it was, a trite or flippant, but I have a bottle that has very little oil left, and they used oil, as we do still today, for cooking and many other purposes as well. So I don't recall the quality of the oil, but they used it for many things. So he said, have your children go house to house and ask for their empty bottles. And because like today, everything's in plastic, well, everything was in glass. And so they went and asked and brought back hundreds of bottles, hundreds. And oil had and I don't think it was perceived as just cooking oil, meaning it was oil that had great value, because back further into the New Testament, one of the disciples got very, I guess it was Judas, got very bent out of shape when oil was, Mary and Martha and Lazarus, Mary, had put oil on Jesus's feet, and he said, "We could sell that," type of thing. So back to this widow, her sons brought back these bottles, and per Elisha, she started pouring, and in faith, started pouring the oil into these bottles, the oil that she had, and it kept filling it and filling it and filling it. So the point of the story tonight is know your treasure. Know your treasure, meaning that all she had, which had value, was this little bit of oil. And if she didn't pour it out and give it out further, that would have done nothing for her, meaning the little bit of oil she had left. And so the sons, brought back many bottles, and empty bottles, and she kept pouring, and God provided. And the story says that basically she had enough funds for the rest of her life. So, guys, know that the treasure is within inside you. You every day have that treasure. I heard something today that was quite profound, that we have the Holy Spirit within us, and angels, which are supernatural, and they're with us always. But these angels basically don't have the Spirit of God. They have other powers, but they don't have the Spirit of God, which supersedes what they have. So know that your gifts are within you, and use them wherever and whenever. And when I am a widow, and when my husband became very ill in 2009, and I say very ill because it wasn't an illness like having a heart attack. He had a small stroke, and that stroke, as the neurologist said, threw him into a condition called Lewy body syndrome. So it's a Parkinson's form of dementia, and I would not wish it upon my worst enemy. It's very, very difficult, because the person is not only dealing with dementia, but Parkinson's, which is a nerve disease. And so it just throws them into chaos. That's all I'm going to say. And it was a very difficult time, not just for he, which truly was, but not just for my business and everything around me. And it just put it into a tremendous challenge. And then something very unexpected happened at the latter months of his life. And I'm not going to go into it tonight, but at some point I will. And it could have altered my life. It could have. But I knew that the treasure was in me, not in this circumstance or the extraneous things around it. I like this gal. I didn't sit back and let the world and life roll over me like she went to Elisha, the prophet, and sought out help. I did the same. And so I just kept working. And then after my husband passed, I just went into, I don't want to say overdrive, but it was recouping and regrouping, but always knowing that the treasure was given to me by God, and that my God-given gifts, so to speak, and so that you too have them. That's why in this Propel program, which I wrote in 21, after selling my luxury day medical and wellness spa, I knew it was time to give back and share with you tools that you too could start, scale, and sustain the business and life of your dreams. And it's a virtual program. It has 5 workbooks and 5 videos, and I work interactively with you. But but I did that, as I said, to give a framework. And from there, I've been building a brand of the Propel, and this YouTube channel program is called Propel Expansion. But if you go to propel.megandimartino.com/info, that is my link tree, and on there is my Propel community. And it's free, 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 free. So I invite you to join me in the Propel community. You get a daily message of inspiration and encouragement in your text in the morning, bi-monthly newsletters. We do virtuals and webinars and trainings. My link link to the archive of all the podcasts are there. I started podcasting in 20. It was called it was called Unique Leaders Live. And then as I was building the brand, as I said, with Propel, I transitioned it to Propel Deep Dive. And so I'm here to help you. And in the Propel program, I said there's 5 workbooks and 5 videos, and they're based on the 5 C's, which are my non-negotiables. And they are clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and compassion. And compassion is that grace from God, like that she didn't beat herself up, that they didn't save money, they had debt. She was proactive. And it was giving herself that grace that God gives us free. But the other C, the 4th C of commitment, has a B, and that's consistency. So once you commit to it, consistency will absolutely trump anything. And so I work in the regenerative wellness space. I manufacture clinical skincare products. I have several programs that I work with my vendor on, and one is a professional private labeling, really a program that's it's beyond putting your own brand on it. It's really giving you the tools of education, training, your own domain, and as well as shopping cart. And so it's just so robust and so full to help you kick off your business, which I never had. I've done everything by myself and step by step by step. So we're putting that together, and we're just excited, very, very excited about that. But also tying together LifeWave, the non-transdermal stem cell activation patch, because we are cellular health. And if our stem cells are dormant, then we have no health, because they are the master cells of the body. They're non-differentiated, which means they become whatever the body needs. But if they're dormant, they cannot activate. At 30, they're 50% dormant. At 60, they're 90% dormant. OMG. That means that the body fills with inflammation, which you hear that term, but that is why. And disease sets in. So I am here not only to help you with your business, your life, activating, but cellular regenerative health. So go to propel.megandimartino.com/info and join the Propel community. And my book is there, Hope and Possibilities, just over the horizon. Start and don't stop. My TED Talk is there about innovation. It'll give you a lot of insight. But basically, guys, know that there is treasure within you all. I said before you guys start coming in that I did this segment on the 24th, and I see it there in YouTube, but there's no video. So I don't know what happened. So I'm putting my glasses on just to be able to turn it off and make sure this is captured. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for joining me. Subscribe to this channel. It really will help others find it. And also ring that bell and you'll get notifications when I go live. So, and I often, but I so want you to come on. So I look forward to seeing you soon. And thank you again for joining me. And remember, it's never too early or too late to create the life of your dreams. Be blessed.